Is that actually live? Wait a minute, that can't be right.
Interrupt our program to bring you this important message. I love you. Interrupt our program to bring you...
Alright, good morning ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dean Callan Show. I am going to try something here. Let me know how the audio is coming through, because as you can imagine, as is every single day, something very panicky happens right before I go on. And I don't know why, but for some reason, it doesn't look like my audio is showing up. So if you guys can hear me, great, let me know. But at the moment, I'm just going to run on the assumption that you can hear me, even though it's showing muted. Why would it show muted? Why does this happen? Why? Alright, how's that? Audio's good? Okay, happy days. Alright. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Dean Callan Show. Sorry for the interruptions at the beginning. I think that it happens every single day. I also realized yesterday, you might have noticed, instead of just putting a photo up that said, like, the Dean Callan Show's coming on with the cabin fever and such things, I put, like, the episode 20 image up, and I put a scheduled post up, which I thought is better, right? Because it gives me the countdown on my screen. I did that today, but as I went to, like, go live, it wasn't going live. And then I realized that it might not have even done the schedule. So I apologize if I didn't give you the 1 hour warning, but, you know, like shit was bananas today. Which, if you got the 1 hour warning, and maybe it did go out, you'd know that the episode was entitled Cabin Fever 20. The shit has gone bananas, right? Yeah, basically, I'm doing a banana-themed episode. So, for my banana-themed episode, I have my banana syrup that I kind of alluded to for the last couple of episodes. I should have had another whole banana here. Did I know I didn't eat it because I'm getting the hunger for banana in my face, but I can't taste banana. So somewhere in the cabin, there is a banana. I guess I'm just going to have to sniff it out later. Right, on the show today, very interesting show. I got nothing today to show you from other people. If you looked at the very first episode of this show, I kind of asked people, you know, what would they want. I've seen that I started counting my days on the Friday when the UK government shut down bars. Now, myself and my wife had already been in isolation for a good week or two before that. But I figured it was a good time to start because I know I've got a lot of friends, certainly in the UK, but also around the world, that might not be working. And I figured when you're not working, you need a creative output. You need to be able to put into something. And if you've got a distraction like, what am I up to today? What sort of quarantine cocktails can I come up with? It might be nice. So I figured I'd get people to send in their quarantine cocktails, or as I'm now hoping people might do, I'm not worried about it anymore, like lock-in life, kind of like MTV Cribs. I'm going to do one tomorrow and just do my lock-in life. Like, this is what it's like. This is what I'm doing. This is my setup. I did one today. When I was at lunch, I started doing some gardening, did a lock-in life type thing of my gardening. You might like it. It might be super boring, but it was what I was up to, and it also is what I do to clear my head. When Mitch didn't even send in a video today, I have a minute of Mitch, but I stole it from someone else because there was no Mitch's minute. So poor Mitch though, I called him one time. I didn't like hassle him. The guy's probably like, it's 20 days in. the guy's probably done with the Mitch's Minutes. Hopefully that's not the case though, because I love hanging out or chatting to Mitch every single day. Now, what I've done is I've loaded in like, it's kind of unfair. I've loaded in a minute of Mitch when he was at Tales of the Cocktail. I'm going to make a quick banana daiquiri so that I've got something to sip on because I am terribly parched. And then after that, we'll go to Mitch's Minute. Now, first of all, before I make the daiquiri, to make this banana syrup, I don't even know. I made a video of me making the banana syrup, but I can't show the video of me making the banana syrup for some reason. Like, it works on my phone, but when I send it to my computer, it just doesn't work. So like, it's so not fair, because I just want to show you that I actually did in fact make this video. Yeah, it won't even play on my phone now. It's so mean. Oh wait, there we go. Right, so I'll cut to camera 2 so you can see, look, check out my wicked overhead view, right? Like, super wicked overhead view. There's me with my Funkin' sugar, right? So I got my Funkin' sugar. I was cheating. Normally I would make a sugar syrup of water and sugar, but today I was like, meh, I'm in a rush. So I pour sugar syrup, right? Now, I know anyone that has read Liquid Intelligence that, for example, Dave and Don would hate me for this because I'm basically making a sugar syrup and putting some flavoring in it. They believe that you should take the fruit juice and sugar balance it up, balance the sweetness back up to whatever bricks you do, 50 bricks or 60 bricks, whatever. And same with, say, take your orange juice and you can acid balance it back up to the same pH as lemon. But that's not what I'm doing here. What I'm looking to do is take some old skanky bananas. Like, how do I fast track this? Look, there's me chopping the old skanky bananas for the wicked overhead view, right? And then putting the bananas in the sugar syrup. You bring the sugar syrup up to the boil, and like, you just bring it up to the boil. Once it hits boil, cool it down, right? And then once it's cooled, pour it out. Done. Easy. Now, I didn't strain it back then because I wanted to be able to strain it here and show you the process of what I'm doing. So this has been allowed to cool over the course of the afternoon. And I didn't want the hassle of trying to load that thing in. It wasn't working. I figured I'd just show you on my phone, right? It's like a picture-in-picture. Right, so now we have sugar syrup, right? Sugar syrup we can use for multiples of different drinks, which we will do. And then the banana chunks, I would normally mash the banana chunks into like one of those little green freezer things, like these guys, right? So then you have your little, instead of ice cubes, you have frozen banana chunk cubes, right? Then you keep them in the freezer. They won't go off. Now, the reason we have a lot of bananas, and when I say a lot of bananas, I mean stacks of bananas, is because we decided that we would buy into like closed loop boxes of fruit and veg. So they bring the boxes around. There's no packaging or anything. It's just a big box. You leave the box, you take all the food out of it, and it might be oversized, like double kiwis that no one wants. It might be bananas that are a little bit like not big enough or off size, or maybe a bit brown to go on shelves, and they're fine to eat. So we bought into those boxes, but we bought into multiple different ones, and we would normally go through everything, but bananas seem to be the thing that everyone's sending us loads of, and I mean, we can only eat so many bananas. So, loads of extra bananas. I'm assuming you guys are in the same position. Banana syrup, put aside. Take your blender cup. Bam, right? They're not frozen, so I'm going to need a lot more ice than I normally would. And when I say on the weekend I had one of these and it was delicious, I really mean it. I had one of these on the weekend. It was so good. And I haven't stopped thinking about it since. It's, in fact, not only that, but I remembered I used to make a ton of these types of drinks. Like, I used to make daiquiris all the time. I was a Bacardi brand ambassador for a while. So I was constantly making all sorts of different Bacardi drinks. And having made those daiquiris over the weekend, with the sunshine and just being relaxed at the time, it reminded me of back in the day when I used to drink a ton of Bacardi and I used to work in China. And I liked that. So then I kind of started to reminisce about all the cocktails I used to make before shit got real serious and everyone was a mixologist. And that reminded me of the Caipirosca, which, I'm not going to lie, yesterday's Caipirosca was so good. Like, it was just so, yeah, whatever. A bit of rum, some banana, put in some cold ice, blend it. For me, I've now, you might not notice it, but if you knew this bar, the DJ decks were on that side before. And now they're over here, right? Reason for that is after the daiquiris and the stick drinks, I have moved my crushed ice machine and my blender into pride of place right where I can get at them here, constantly plugged in. Look, there's my blender cup tray, right? So I enjoyed the Caipirosca so much, I'm back to making stick drinks. It was so good. And I kind of feel like, what happened to stick drinks? Like, they're not that bad. I don't even know if anyone had a stigma about stick drinks. They just fell out of favor all of a sudden. Now, if I can find the blender cup lid, which I can't do at this point in time, today is just, it's like a running joke. All right. Who needs a blender cup lid? You can just press on and then go to mix. Upgrade to liquefy. Let's sing. I can't wait for this. I'm so excited about this. Now, what glass am I going to put in? I'm going to put it in a retro-looking lidy glass. Cool. I have no idea if this is working. Oh, whoa, comments! Yeah, normally the computer would be here, but I switched everything over. It took me all day to switch everything, by the way. No idea what volume this holds, but it's looking pretty good. I'm so pumped for this. All right, banana daiquiri. So, banana sugar syrup is really like aromatic, let's say. Like, you get the ripe banana flavor if you get it right. If you're unable to get super ripe bananas, just don't make the drink. The next drink I'm going to attempt to make, if I can run outside and get mint. I've made it once at the Manhattan Cocktail Classic, right? Now, we went all the way over to Manhattan. We were doing the Manhattan Cocktail Classic. No straw. Damn it, what happened to all my steel straws? Such a messy day. I'm at the Manhattan Cocktail Classic. I'm making this Belafonte julep. Now, the Belafonte julep is a monkey shoulder mint julep, but using banana syrup, and it tastes amazing. But it needs crushed ice. When I say it needs crushed ice, you can't put 1 or 2 cubes of cubed ice in. You can't serve it warm. And when we got set up, everything, it was super early in the evening. No ice, no crushed ice. People started coming over to the bar, and like, I pre-prepped the ingredients for the drink. So I've got my mint, I've got my banana syrup, and I've got my whiskey, all pre-prepped in the glasses from where they're meant to be going. My idea was, crushed ice comes, scoop it in and swizzle it until I get the requisite dilution. No crushed ice came. So I get like a handful of ice, and I put some ice in them, and then one of them went out and it tasted terrible. And Sean Muldoon drank it, and I never forget seeing his face. He was like, oh. And he looked at the people he was with, and he was like, what the shit is this? And I was like, oh, part of me, my heart is broken that like that drink went out and it wasn't very good. But at the same time, I was kind of happy that he didn't know it was me that made it. There's always time to improve, right? Now, I am going to run Mitch's Minute. and you're going to love it. And then I'm going to reminisce about days gone by when we went to Tales of the Cocktail and stuff, and we could socially interact. Watch out in the background for all the people that are hanging out at Alibi, right? In the background. This is awesome.
Okay, we're at the Alibi 2014 Tales of the Cocktail. I'm going to interview Mitch Bushell for a second. Just ask him, Mitch, what was the first agave spirit you drank? Was it tequila or mezcal? Do you remember?
No, actually, no, that's not entirely untrue. No, it wasn't. It was mezcal.
Mezcal.
It was really shitty stuff.
And was it a good experience?
I'm not the best example for that.
No, but was it a good experience?
I liked it.
That's good enough for me. That's all it needs to be, brother.
Was that a good experience? I don't know. I enjoyed it.
Hey, the thing is, some people have good experience the first time and some people have a bad one. It worked for him, ladies and gentlemen. So here's Phil Bailey signing off at Tales of the Cocktail 2014. Love this town.
All right, made it back in time in the 1 minute. I got some mint from the garden, and I gave it a clean. Good timing, dude. Check out how fast that was. All right, let's see if I can put on a song nice and quietly in the background. Right. All right, happy days. Yeah, so this is delicious, right? Make banana daiquiris and make stick drinks. They should be so popular right now. It's so fresh and delicious. And it's about time they came full circle, right? This is amazing. Right, so I decided at the last minute that I wanted to talk today about creativity. As I said before, there's a lot of people that are sitting at home. They can't go to work. They've got not much on. If that's you and you have time spare to yourself, then here's a suggestion. I really don't mean to talk down to people at all or like try to say that I know better than anything else, but a lot of people they miss out on the real benefit of doing just mundane shit when they've got a task already at hand. Now, what I mean by that is, and I'd love to show the clip, but there's a great clip, look it up, where John Cleese, one of the actors from Monty Python's, whole Monty Python thing, Life of Brian, all that, he's talking about creativity, and he's talking specifically about a script he wrote, where he wrote the whole script out, and the script was written, and he's finished it, and before he got to send it off to anyone, or before he kind of finalized it and sent it out and had turned it into something, he lost the script. But people were still looking for things, so he had to rewrite the script, right? And it comes to, this is weeks later, he's rewriting the script. Now, he goes back to rewrite the script the second time, and he knew the storyline. He knew where he was getting to. He knew how he developed the characters. He knew the story. He's just writing it out a second time. Now, the second time, he's written it out. He's finished it much faster than he did the first time. He sends it off. And then much later down the line, he finds the original script. And being a person with a scientific background, he studied at Cambridge, I think it was, or Oxford, I don't know, one of those places. And he studied science, I think. He says he has a scientific background. He wanted to look at the script again and see what had changed from the first time he wrote the script to rewriting it from memory. And he said the second script was considerably better than the first one. And he goes on to say that if you want to be a creative person and you have a creative process, you can't be truly creative when you're ticking boxes and you're super busy trying to achieve tasks. If you have a massive list of tasks that you need to do during the day and you're running around kind of ticking them off, you can't just stop and be like, right, now I've got to be creative and write some stuff down that's going to be great. You need to get yourself into a creative mindset. And if you're a person who has like, you know, not necessarily like deadlines, but like you've got to say here, I consider myself creative. I need to do something here. And I get told I'm going to, you know, this is the task here. This is a time, right? Now, over the course of that time, I've got lots of tick boxes I've got to do. I've got things I've got to run around and do, but I will give myself time where I just have time that I'm not doing anything. And I'll keep going back to this task and looking at it, kind of topping it up, but not finalizing it, not finishing it, not getting it out straight away. Now, if it was a drink in a bar, I would make the person the drink straight away, even if they didn't want it until here. Or I'd prep all the ingredients and wait until there and do it so it's fresh, right? But with a creative process, when you're asleep, your subconscious keeps working. And John Cleese said that when he was, you know, not thinking about the script was still getting developed in his subconscious. And for me, if I'm doing a mundane task, and I'll give you an example of a mundane task, right? This is my garden, and this is me just doing a mundane task. I don't know why my web... This goes on for a while. While I'm doing the gardening, I'm keeping myself busy. I'm just doing, the dishes are great for that as well. If you've got a big stack of dishes and you're just doing the dishes, cleaning stuff, I find doing tasks while I'm thinking about a project that I've got on, or not so much thinking about it, I might have thought about the project for a little while and then do mundane tasks. It helps your subconscious develop the idea and develop the project whilst you're doing other things. So as John Cleese says in his video, give yourself space of both physical space and time. So he says that if you're a person who's at the bottom of the food chain in a corporate entity, or you're working in a space where you're not in charge, you know, on your break, give yourself some time, go out to a park, sit and just don't do anything else. Keep yourself separate from any distractions and just sit and let things come to you. Just think on stuff and your brain will start thinking over on all the stuff that you've got going on. If you're the big boss, tell your secretary, this is how he says it, not to disturb you for an hour on any circumstance. Don't let anyone in, don't let anyone out. Like, just leave me alone, and then give yourself physical space and space and time to just sit and think on that project. So for me, I've realized the last couple of days doing this show that I need to give myself a little bit of time for it, but also that I've been missing out on some of that time that I would ordinarily give to my clients' work and stuff like that. And that made me think like, wow, okay, need to streamline all this, get it all set up, not be concerned about other people's stuff coming in, and focus on the tasks I've got at hand and giving myself space of just doing nothing. So if you've got the time where you're just not doing anything, rather than panicking about it or like, you know, being super concerned, give yourself time of the day where you're going to focus on what your next steps are. Give yourself time of the day where you've got tick boxes, right? Wake up in the morning, make your bed, keep yourself focused, do stuff, do the cleaning, do the dishes, whatever it is. Make something really delicious for the day. But don't underestimate the value of having an idea of where you want to be in the future, what you want to do, and then just giving yourself some space of time to just relax and not do anything in particular, because your brain might be ticking over in the background and you might be coming up with ideas that will aid you when you do get back to work. Anyway, I thought I would just probably talked on that a lot longer than I expected to, but I thought I would share that. And here I've got a funny video that this was sent to me by my Uncle Tom. He sends me a lot of videos lately. I'm thinking that maybe it's his way of dealing with being stressed out, but none of them are appropriate. This one is the most appropriate one he has sent me. Okay, I'm just going to share this, if it works. And surprise, surprise, it didn't work. How funny is that? Right, I'll tell you what, I'm going to load up a different video. I'm hoping this one works. So this other different video is one that I put together myself. So if anyone out there knows the whiskey world, you might have heard of Jim Murray, right? Like, I'm not the biggest fan of Jim Murray. He didn't do this to me, but I was told, well, I work with some people that, you know, he gave a certain whiskey a really high score one year, and then demanded money from them, or he was going to either take them from his book or give them a worse score, right? Now, if the whiskey hasn't changed and you're giving it scores based on its flavor profile, like, how can you kind of ask for money from people, or you're going to mess with their score in your book? Like, he's super influential, but what a knob. So the next time I've seen a video of him, I messed around with it. I hope he sees this, right? Don't be such a knob, Jim Murray.
The author of the Whiskey Bible, Jim Murray is one of the world's most influential whiskey critics. Last year he stunned many when he rated several Tasmanian whiskies so highly, calling one a staggering achievement, another unquestionably one of the world whiskies of the year, and another one of the top 50 whiskies in the world. He said he had no choice but to get on a plane and see what's happening in Tasmania. He's finally here, and I caught up with him before he visited Tasmania's Southern Highlands. Jim Murray, welcome to Landline.
Good to be here.
How many whiskies do you taste every year for your Whiskey Bible?
On average, about 1,250. That's new ones, and I do lots of retastes as well. So a lot, I think, is the answer.
And they're from countries all around the world?
Absolutely everywhere. You know, literally from Tasmania right away up to Scandinavia. It's the whole lot.
So you might notice what I did. I just took his normal interview and then slowed him down. Probably too much, actually. Looking at it back now, I slowed him down too much. He looks a bit boozed up. But by slowing him down, he looked like he was like slurring his words, but he wasn't. I played that once for a bunch of brand ambassadors. And one of the guys who knows him really well couldn't stop laughing. Face went red. It was a great moment. I really enjoyed that. That was quite funny. Right, so moving on. Now, Belafonte Julep. So I'm going to make it into this guy, right? This mint is not the best mint in the world. It's my garden mint. It's literally garden mint. So I'm not going to bother with garnish. I'm just going to like put all the little tiny fresh healthy bits in there right at the top. And you can, oh, it smells really good. So this is going to be good, right? Now, with this drink, I know how sweet the sugar is going to be, but I like to just build it slowly. Take the time, right? So put a little dash of this banana syrup in over your mint, if you've got mint. And I just press it in so the syrup's all over all the mint. And then get my crushed ice. Now, I've got time for this one. So 40% spirit is not, oh, where's my monkey? Oh, there it is. 40% spirit is not going to dilute well in freezing cold ice. So it's going to take a little while to build it up. So I put 60 whole mil in there so that I can get it started. And the idea is, without tearing the mint apart, just keep stirring and lifting. Add a little bit more. Now, for those of you that don't know, everyone knows why I called it a Belafonte Julep, right? In case you don't, Oh no, it's not on there. Ah yes, there it is. Right, this is why I called it Belafonte Julep. This song, right? Again, hoping I don't get cut down for copyright. So I've just got it low in the background. But lifting this allows those really soft oils of the mint to come out. The high volatiles in those oils will spread through this drink, giving it a little bit of flavor. And hopefully the right amount of dilution, right? If you get it just right, you should be able to get the glass to like freeze up. Now this drink's obviously going to me, so I'm not too worried about my hands being on the top. Give it a little stir. Right. It's not in a julep mug, I understand that, but it's a julep, right? I call it a julep. Now, where are my mini juleps? Here we go. So, oh, so cool. It's good. I would add a tiny bit more sugar. Just a tiny bit. Right? I have a sweet tooth. Honestly, that banana daiquiri, and I'm still thinking about that Kaipiroska yesterday. It was so good. Alright. It was so good. It was so fresh. Right. You want it on the sweet side. Oh. Belafonte Julep. So good. So a couple of people got in touch about the 3 Spirits giveaway thing. But don't forget, if you weren't watching yesterday, the guys from 3 Spirits were very kind in saying that if you'd like to taste this, they can post them out to you. I haven't yet got an answer as to whether or not they post outside the UK, but if you are interested, get in touch, send me a direct message, and I can put you in touch with them. They're sending these bottles out for free to people so they can have a taste, have a play, which they're non-alcoholic, and they do different things. This one just tastes great, and this one's a nightcap, which makes you feel relaxed, and this one's a livener, which livens up your day. So definitely get in touch if you can, because they are delicious. And I didn't know they were going to do that, but I mean, that's amazing. So get in touch, let me know, send me a direct message, and then I'll put you in touch with them. They're sending out bottles to people, but they're also asking for recipes in return. And if you submit a recipe that makes it to their website, I don't know the rules, they'll pay you £30. That's pretty badass, right? If you submit like 600 recipes, jokes. Right, so back on, put another song on. And I'm playing mashups. For anyone that doesn't know what a mashup is, these songs are basically like 2 songs played over the top of each other in the hope that I can put them up and then copyright doesn't kill me, right? So let's have a look. For example, let me see one that you would recognize straight away. One of my favorite mashups. There's so many of them. Come on, come on, come on, come on. All right, try this. Maybe that's not the right one. Try this one. Yeah. Right? Can you hear that? All right. So, this is one of my favorite mashups, where you take 2 songs and you mash them up together. I've got a couple of wicked ones. Like I've got the White Stripes mashed up with Led Zeppelin, which is epic. But this, right? Can you guess what it is? It's Snoop Dogg, but with Jimi Hendrix. Oh my God! How cool is that? I fucking love this track. Like, I've also got, I moved the entire sound system around, so it feels really weird because it doesn't sound quite the same as it used to. Let me see. That's a bit more like it. All right. Awesome. So, in the interest of doing things similar to the other days, this show is completely winging it. I was loading up stuff at the last minute. So anyway, in the interest of doing things the same way that I have been in the last few shows where I was kind of like felt comfortable and had things organized, my blackboard's not even organized today. I feel like I should taste something I haven't tasted before. And I was sent this, I'm not gonna lie, I was sent this. I haven't tasted it before though. I've heard of it, but I haven't tasted it. And it says, right, I'm gonna do what I hope will become a standard kind of way of tasting new stuff. I haven't read anything on the back of this for the reason that I don't want people thinking I know all about the spirits. I've been sent information from people. If you send me something, I'm going to talk about it. If you pay me to talk about something, I'm going to tell people I got paid, which would be pretty badass because I'd love to do this for a living. It would be pretty cool. But people, I was sent this in, it came in the same package as the Vestervodka and the Whitley Neal. I'm not going to lie, I've tasted Whitley Neal before, but it was in a clear bottle. It was a long time ago. So I'm going to go back and retaste this tomorrow. Now, this one, never tasted before. And if I can change my angles, bam. So that's the bottle, right? Actually, this is set for here. So I think there would be the best, right? Look at this. Oh, see this? See that? That's touchy-feely, this bit. You can feel it. And the skull, it also pops out. So when I see this, right, this is what my brain does. Because I've been consulting for alcohol companies for a while now. I see it and I see like the label's been stuck on, but it's got DMF on the side. It's got Cornish Soul stuck out, DMF on here. So Dead Man's Finger is DMF. They're shortening it to DMF. That says to me that in like a Twitter or, you know, hashtag DMF presents whatever, they can use DMF. So it makes a lot of sense. Cornish Soul. So I'm guessing it's from Cornwall, right? I don't know whether that's actually the case, but that's my first instinct, is that it's actually from Cornwall. Bottled for the Cornish Rum Company Limited, right? So they're from Cornwall. So Cornish Soul means it's giving it a home, like a cultural home. The skull on the front, Dead Man's, right? And also having a lockout, like a single image. When I worked for Monkey Shoulder, one of the most powerful things we had was the 3 monkeys. We put them on hats and stuff. You didn't need to write the words Monkey Shoulder on stuff, which is amazing. And in countries like France, for example, you can't have overt Monkey Shoulder branding out in public in some places because it's illegal. But you can have a lockout. Now, the lockout, like the 3 monkeys, for example, or the skull, you could have that, and if it's recognizable to people that already know the brand, you're sharing that you're there without the people that don't need to know about it knowing about it, which is amazing. Right. The plastic thing keeps the top on, but it's also got this as a backup. So you could, if you gifted it to someone, take this little bit off and it would look a little bit better. Obviously, you need this to ship it. It's got a nice cork. It smells good so far. My instinct, I've got a Sailor Jerry-esque whiff off it to begin with. I hate these things, so I'd rather just get rid of that right now. This knife's super sharp. Right, tasting it. I like the black glass as well. I'm a fan of black glass. All right, it's very dark. So my instinct is that maybe there's some caramel coloring added to it, but that's not a bad thing. Having a consistent color every time, especially if you're bringing different rums in from different places, then to get one consistent flavor. We do things differently here. Dead Man's Fingers is a blend of rum and spices created at the Rum and Crab Shack in St. Ives, Cornwall. Yeah, so yeah, legit from Cornwall. Inspired by local flavors such as saffron cake, spiced fruit, and the Shack's own Pedro Jimenez ice cream. Enjoy it mixed or neat. Either way, this is not your usual. This is Cornish soul. Cool. Let's have a taste. It's really nice. The it's got like a Christmas spices sort of flavor to it. I don't know what saffron cake tastes like, and I now want to go and taste the Shack's own Pedro Jimenez ice cream. You get that Pedro Jimenez fruitiness from it, but it's also got like a lot of like dark molasses sort of flavor as well. It's really good. It's nice. My instinct would be to make maybe a Mai Tai with it. It's got a sweetness to it, but if you look at this, another thing I'd look for, like, I don't know how well you can see them, but you can see that that's not sticking to the sides. You know, it doesn't say it's got tons of sugar to it, which is a bonus because, you know, you can get some spiced rums that are pretty sweet. Delicious. Thank you guys. I'll aim to make something during the week with it, but at the moment I've still got my Belafonte julep. Right, so one last thing of the things I would normally do. Let's see if there's another video in here or song. All right, you ready for some White Stripes and Led Zeppelin? Right. Oh, so that I can explain this, you might want the audio. So this is a thirst extinguisher. So it's made to look like a fire extinguisher. And I don't know whether this is like a legit Prohibition one. It might have been more kind of towards the 40s, 50s. But the idea is, and I doubt this is a legit Prohibition one. There are Prohibition versions of this. They're really tall and shiny, like chromed out or silver. And basically the idea is, you're in a speakeasy and the bad guys come in, or the good guys. Are they the good guys or the bad guys? The people that are going to bust you, right? And interesting note, like apparently the word 86 comes from a bar that stayed open in New York. And when the police came in, there were 86 people, which meant they had to be booted out onto 86th Street so that the bar looked empty. Interesting. Right, so you got a decanter in here, you got your booze in there. This goes on top, looks like an everyday fire extinguisher, right? And interesting again. So there's a running theme of that sound, which makes me, I think the mechanics in here make me think that it was meant to look like a Prohibition shaker, but not be a Prohibition shaker. It also says Hong Kong on the bottom, but when you wind this up, and I miss these kind of things. Like, this is one of the beautiful things of the past, right? That song is How Dry I Am. And I've got a collection of different vintage stuff. It's not all in the cabin anymore, unfortunately. A few months ago, I packed up most of my collection and a lot of my books and actually half my booze and put it all into storage so that it was safe because, you know, the cabin's starting to draw attention. And also there was no space in here. But I've got a couple of things that play How Dry I Am that come from Prohibition. The purpose of the How Dry I Am, the temperance movement, or the people, as far as I understand, that were all against booze and wanted dry states and Prohibition to come in and get rid of alcohol, would march down the street announcing that they were dry, and they'd be like, how dry I am, blah, 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 blah. So, typical, when you pick this up, it plays the very song that the people that you're kind of defiant of would chant. And if you watched any Bugs Bunny cartoons when you were a kid, You know that wah, 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 wah. You know, like wah, 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 wah. Like that was how dry I am every time Bugs Bunny was drunk or they were pretending to be drunk. Same thing. Right. So, loving the mashups. I can't read the comments from over here. But it looks like it's all right. You know, I can just wing it. Oh, and also, I'm actually, this came today. You see that? Right? One of the things that I was really disheartened by this week was the fact that I said on Friday I was going to do the Negroni on Monday. But it took until today for the ingredients that I was missing to turn up. But now I have the Szechuan pepper and I have the hibiscus tea. And I got the best organic hibiscus tea I could get. I was going to substitute with actual dried hibiscus, but I'm going to stick to the hibiscus tea. I've now got all the ingredients I need. So over the course of the next couple of days, I'm going to make the Negroni recipe. And side by side, if the Whiskey Exchange, I think it was, I bought it from, ever deliver my non-alcoholic martini, which was meant to arrive on Monday. It's now fucking Wednesday, all right? If they ever deliver the non-alcoholic martini, I'm going to make a non-alcoholic martini with non-alcoholic gin and dehydrated martini bitters, right? And then stir that together and rehydrate it and see how, like, twists and stuff what that non-alcoholic corporate version might taste compared to the original Negroni, right? Super pumped about that. I'm making promises now that I'm hoping I'm able to keep. This has been Dean Callan. This has been Cabin Fever. I hope it was a nice distraction, and thanks for tuning in. Press the end button.